things I'm grateful for, it has to be family first. I'm thankful for my health and thankful to be in a position where I feel like I can grow and continue to improve year by year, day by day.
All right, awesome.
And it took from me until the age of, like, I think 22, 23. I think it was 22. I finally had gone back to Guinea, and I remember where I came from. I'm like, there's a lot of people here who are less fortunate than me. And a lot of them wanted to come to America, right, in terms of opportunity, because young people graduate college over there and they still don't really have a job or a job opportunity and those kind of things. So I became really like, I'm like, I got to come back to the U.S. and just work as hard as possible. So that's when I came back and I started taking school seriously, getting my work done, and just becoming comfortable with education. I started getting inspired by others who were actually intellectual, because before I had only looked up to athletes and people that I wanted to be like, because I wanted to play basketball and do sport, be an athlete. But I started seeing the world in a new lens and just taking education serious, like being inspired by that kind of people who live that kind of lifestyle. Yeah, so now I feel like I'm doing pretty well, and I think I have goals to further my education and just become better.
Okay, nice. Into education, as being a teacher, you having the educational background that you did, what led you to becoming a teacher?
I feel like working with the youth is something that I've always had the passion for. Something that I've always had the passion for. I would say, like, my first job was working with like fantastic kids. It was this. I just wanted my first job, and I used to always be at the YMCA, and this job opportunity rose where I could teach kids about fitness and eating well, and like eating healthy. And so that was my first job. I started working with kids, and later on that summer, I got an opportunity to work at summer camp. I did it like for, I think, 2 summers. Then I got a job opportunity with the YMCA. They were they needed somebody to cover the Huntington YMCA after school program. So I started working after school. I worked after school for a few years, actually, maybe a good 4 years. I went from different YMCAs and just kept doing that as I went through school. And like my last year, I did, I got out of the field, like, tried doing security, and I tried to be a personal trainer. I did those for a little bit, but I felt like it was a lot more. I had more fun, I would say, just being a teacher. Like, even the after school teacher is not like a full-time teacher, but it had the same elements. So if I felt like it was something that I enjoyed, I had the patience for it. Therefore, after I graduated, I had the option: one, get a job in the field of psychology, like for a few years, or do something that I know that I would enjoy, which was to be in the field of education. Plus, my brother also is an English teacher, 8th grade. And so, he talked me through it, how it would be, what the steps are to becoming a teacher. And I went for it. Yeah.
Okay. Who is somebody that...
What are you getting out of doing this work? Okay. There's a few things I'm getting out of this work. I would say getting more comfortable teaching. And this is something that benefits me now. And I think about my future. If I have kids, I would love to be like a good teacher to them, as far as like academically, and just seeing the things that the youth in school are doing, what they're into, just knowing how they are through these stages. And then I feel like when I have my own children, it'll be something that I can use for them. Also, it's really satisfying to see, you know, young minds learn something through you and like, you know, develop relationships. You know, I would say those things are things that I get out of it, because it's like, I don't know, if you like something and teaching that to somebody else, it's like it just increases that feeling. I'm sure you understand that. For example, you love basketball, and I can tell you love teaching basketball too. You know what I mean? I would say I feel the same way. I feel like I teach more than just math. I try to teach, like, you know, just how to behave in life, how to, you know, be a better person. I feel like that's a part of, you know, education, and something, if I don't do my best right now, it's something that I want to be able to do a better job at, and something that, you know, gives my job meaning. Yeah, I do try, because I feel like, you know, being curious is a good thing. You can't know something until you ask, and, you know, and I feel like you don't know what you don't know. So it's like somebody else can tell you something that you never even knew that you didn't know. So I think that's a good reason to ask questions. As long as you have the best interest of the youth, I think that's a different strategy. It's all a good place to, you know, start from if you want to be a youth worker. But I would say, as long as you have the best interest of the youth in mind, I think you are what an educator looks like.
So you feel like youth worker and educator are synonymous with one another?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you are working with the youth and you're putting them in the best path, you're passing on skills. I would say youth worker kind of includes educator. If educator means like a teacher, like youth worker, I would say is broader, because, you know, maybe you're teaching them this different skill. Maybe you're guiding them through, okay, this is how you do this, you do your taxes. This is what you're supposed to do to get into this college. You know, like, this is how you become a better basketball player. This is how you know, play this instrument. There's like so many things you are as a youth worker. So I feel like one includes the other, and yeah, so they are kind of synonymous, but I would say youth worker is more like an umbrella term for educators, like coach, all of these things. They look heavy. But yeah, I was do I see myself working as an educator for the for like the next 5 years, 10 years? It's possible. I'm not like strongly against it, but I would like to be doing something else. Not because I don't enjoy the field, and not because it's not a good way to pass time, but I feel like something that is well known is that educators, like, you know, when I say social work, I mean like people who work in social situations, like social, like pretty much services. Like, you know, you're providing a service. You're the teacher. You're doing this for somebody else. Like in the field of, like, let's say psychology, you also working with people, right? Like most of these things, you make more money in things that when you're selling goods, or like, you know, things like that, or you're working on with tech, or in the STEM field somewhere, you make more money than if you're working a social job. In that sense, like, teaching is a social job. And I feel like it's a super important field, and it's our future, right? And we're teaching the next generation, so it is a very meaningful